KSC fans, my name is Jason Tolson.
And I'm Taryn Sweeney.
And welcome to Eurasian Master-Chef episode number 5, the admin edition.
For Lent.
That's right. So it's a Lent season right now, ladies and gentlemen, and we thought it would be nice to bring you some dishes that don't contain any meat.
Yeah.
Something that you can consume on any day of the week if you're making sacrifices, if you're fasting or abstaining from meat. We decided to come up with these 3 dishes especially for you guys. So Terry, what are you going to be making?
So I'll be doing dessert. So I'll be doing a chocolate ganache cake.
That's very nice. And I will be bringing you 2 dishes. Okay, 2 dishes. Okay, a Portuguese dish called Soy Limao, which is basically soy sauce and lime. Okay, it's a sweet and sour. It's a twist on sweet and sour.
It sounds so yummy.
Yeah. And then that's going to be with stingray fish. Okay, fried stingray fish. And we're also going to do a Taugey with a stir-fried Taugey with fried tofu as well. Okay,
so we've got many guests around here waiting for lunch.
Yeah, everyone's hungry and they're impatiently waiting. Alright folks, welcome to my kitchen. Okay, we're in my home today and Taryn has been so gracious as to come and cook with me in my home instead of bringing the cake from home, right? So you guys can see what's going on. So I think we should start with the soy limao. What do you think?
So we'll start with the soy limao.
Okay.
And Jason will tell us what's inside.
That's right. So let's start with the ingredients for the sauce itself. Okay, we have 1 big onion. Okay, actually we need 2 big onions, but just for illustration, here's an onion about this size. We want 2 of these. Okay, we want about 5 chilies. Okay, and we also want about 5 to 6 limes depending on how much fish you're going to be cooking. Okay?
And does the color of the onion matter? Whereas the red ones or the yellow ones?
Well, the red ones will be better because it's sweeter. The white onion tends to be more for like roasting or even to add like to your salads and all that is better raw. But the red onions tend to be a bit more flavorful. It's a bit sweeter. Okay. So we have approximately 500 grams of stingray here. Okay. Here's a very important tip. Make sure you wash your stingray with a lot of salt. Okay, if not, it's gonna smell.
That's a really good tip, and I just found that out today too.
Yeah. Okay. So first things first, while we start the prep, okay, we want to marinate the fish first. So before we start cutting up, let's do the marination of the fish. We agak, okay. So maybe I'm thinking about maybe 2 to 3 teaspoons of black pepper. Okay, and then same goes for the chili powder. Okay, once again we agak. Okay, maybe use a spoon better. Okay, so just a normal teaspoon. Here's 1. Okay, and 2, and that's it. Okay, that's all we need. Okay, then we go for the salt. Now, don't be afraid to put more salt. Okay, because the sauce itself, you're not going to add much salt to it. So it's okay if the fish is a little bit salty. Okay.
But
and plus
if you put too much salt, can you counter it? Like maybe add a bit more chili powder or add a bit of sugar?
Yes, but of course we don't want to over salt it. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, sometimes we tend to under season. In this case, it's okay to season it a little bit more than usual. And the reason is because number 1, you're going to eat it over rice. Number 2, a lot of the salt is going to be washed off into the sauce.
Okay.
Okay, so it's okay. So maybe we go about just that much of salt, okay, about half a teaspoon. Okay, that should be good. Okay, and always remember, before you touch your food, wash your hands.
Hygiene.
Alright, so folks, once you have all your ingredients in, right, the important thing is to make sure that you have it mixed properly. Okay, so it's up to you. You want to use a spoon, you can use a spoon. Okay, just make sure that it's coated evenly. Everything should be properly coated. Okay, and as you're watching this, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 camera angles. Okay, so over at this camera angle, you should be able to see what it looks like now. Okay, after it's been coated with the chili powder, the salt and the pepper. Okay, it should look something like this. Okay, make sure that it's properly coated. That's very important.
You know, I heard that if you cutting onions and sometimes it makes you cry.
Yes.
If you actually put a piece of bread in your mouth, the bread actually soaks up the onion fumes.
Oh really? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so then you won't cry.
Cool.
So how long does it take you to actually cook this whole dish?
The whole thing should take less than 20 minutes because a lot of it is mainly the frying. The preparation takes about 10 minutes, and then the frying proper another say 15 minutes, and then the sauce will take another 5 minutes or so because you don't really need to boil it down too much. You'll be adding just a little bit of water, but we'll come to that later.
And how many does this serve?
For 500 grams, if you're okay, you say we cut the fish small, it can serve maybe 4 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of hungry people waiting.
Yeah, but thankfully our co-admin Thai cooked some curry dabble as well today. So at least there'll be more food.
And it's a good match.
And it's always better to have more than less. Okay, on a high heat.
So does the oil you use matter? What kind of oil
No,
are you
it doesn't
using?
really matter, but in my home we use this canola oil. It's natural, the brand is natural. Yes, omega 3 and 6. It's good. Okay, so the oil is starting to bubble. We are ready to start frying our fish. Once again, wash the hand.
Just about done with the onions and chili.
Okay. So here's another tip, ladies and gentlemen. Always lay whatever it is you're cooking away from you and not towards you. Away. Okay. Lay it away. Tip from Gordon Ramsay. This is what you want to see, okay? You want to see the fish bubbling, okay? That's what you want. And another tip is to make sure that you don't overcrowd your pan as well, because the fish is room temperature or maybe even cold. Like my fish is still a little bit cold because I just took it out from the fridge, right? So if you put too many pieces in, it will cause the oil to lose its temperature. Okay, and when that happens, then your oil will not be frying the fish at the optimal temperature.
It's starting to smell real good.
Yes. Alright, so while this is frying, let's prepare the sauce. Okay, so what we're going to need for the sauce, of course, like I said earlier, the onions and the chili. Okay, we're going to need light soy sauce. Let's see, there's the light soy sauce. Okay, here we go. We'll need light soy sauce. Okay, and we're also going to need dark soy sauce. We need both, okay? And we're going to do the sauce now. So we start with the dark soy sauce. So you just take a cup like this, right? Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to measure about just a quarter of the cup. Okay, so let's see.
That's the dark soy sauce.
Dark soy sauce, about a quarter of a cup. So it comes to about this much. Okay, this much. Okay, about a quarter of a cup. And then your light soy sauce is just a splash. You don't want too much. The light soy sauce about, I would say 3 to 4 teaspoons. Okay, that's it. Okay. And then we have the lime.
If you don't want to use fresh lime like this, can you use like lime concentrate or lime juice?
I wouldn't advise it. I would say that fresh lime juice will always be better for this. Because sometimes the concentrate tends to be already sweetened, you know, or sometimes it's too sour. So you don't want it to be too sour either.
Okay.
This is what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You want it to turn a nice golden brown. Okay. And don't worry if if your fish does not turn too much of a brown color. Okay, it's because this sort of fish, right? Because you're marinating it with chili powder, so the chili powder tends to make it look a little bit more reddish than brown. So don't worry if it looks like this. Okay, you don't want it to become like dark brown like bird.
But that's a beautiful color already.
Yeah, this is almost perfect. Almost perfect. Okay, so it's time for us to lift up the first batch of the fish. As you can see, it's a nice golden brown. Can you see?
Beautiful color and it smells lovely already.
Also, we don't want to overcook the fish as well. So we want to make sure that we maintain a nice juicy interior. Okay, here we go. Alright, so the next batch of fish is going to go in.
So Jason, you'll be listing out the recipe for our fans as well, right?
Of course.
Definitely a recipe to save.
Yeah, you just have to look at the description below, because as we cook, as we go along, as we describe the recipe, it's going to be down below. And also at the end of the show, we're going to have the recipe in full. So let's put in the sugar. So we want 1 tablespoon, okay, of sugar. Okay, because this is after all a sweet and sour dish, so 1 tablespoon like this, a heaping tablespoon, okay. For those of you who may be having a high sugar level or maybe suffering from diabetes, you might want to consider using stevia instead.
Okay, but won't stevia or like fructose really change the dish?
Of course, it will change a little bit, but the good thing is stevia is natural. If you use something like saccharin, or if you use like those artificial sweeteners like equal and all that, it's not natural. It has a very artificial taste, whereby stevia is more natural.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll taste better. Okay, so once you put your sugar in, just make sure that you stir it nicely. At this point in time, you do not need to taste. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, don't taste it first, because later we are going to be adding water, and as we go along, we'll taste. There you go. So sauce done.
That's it.
Yep, done.
That's
okay?
so simple.
Yeah. So later what we're going to do is we're going to fry our onions and chili, and we'll add the sauce in before we add the fish in.
Okay.
And that's done. Alright, so same thing for the sauce. We start by frying up the chili and the onions. Just a little bit of oil.
It's much less than what you use to actually fry the stingray.
That's right. Okay, so you just want about this amount of oil. Okay, just this amount will be fine. Perfect. Okay, so once the oil has heated up, we want to add our onions.
So instead of big chilies, can you use chili padi?
You can if you want it to be spicy, but not advisable, because since this is like a dish that we want the whole family to enjoy, if it gets too spicy, the kids might not like it. So I would suggest to use just normal chilies, because these chilies will not really add much heat. It's more for the flavor and a little bit of
more
heat.
color.
Yeah. Okay, so you just want to saute your onions for a while. We put the chili in later. Okay, once the onions go soft, then we add our chili.
Okay.
Okay, you can see that the onions are starting to get soft. Yeah, starting to get soft, right? So we just want to wait until the color turns a little bit. It starts to become a little bit translucent and it gets a little softer. Then we can put in our chilies. It's looking good, so let's put in our chilies. Chilies go in. It's something about frying onions and chili that makes me happy. I don't know why. It smells like, it smells nice.
With
the aromatics, right?
Plus the crackling sound.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love it. And okay, some of you might think that the oil was a lot. Actually, it's not. It's not really that much. You know why? Because the onions and the chilies will absorb a lot of it.
Soaks it up. Yeah.
It gets soaked up.
Oh, you can really smell the onions and the chilies now.
Yes, you can definitely smell it. So now this is when we want to put the sauce in. You see, all the chili has become soft. The onions have become soft. Okay, as you can see like that. This is the texture of the aromatics that you want before we put in the sauce.
Okay.
Okay, so now the sauce goes in. Okay, once the sauce go in, we bring our fire down to about a medium heat. But that's not the end. What we want to do is now we want to add half a cup of water to this, stir, and then we add it to the pot.
Okay. So we're not wasting anything in the cup.
Okay, so it's
Where's
about
the fish?
it's about half a cup. Okay, make sure we stir it nicely. You don't want to lose any of that sugar. Okay, so we can actually start to plate first. So it's a good idea to put your fish on some kitchen napkins because it's going to absorb the excess oil. So let's just plate this. Just very simple plating lah. You just need to literally just dump it in. Very good.
So here we go. Is the golden stingray.
So once the sauce is ready, all we are going to do is pour it over.
Okay.
Okay, all we have to do is just pour it over.
Slowly starting to bubble.
Yeah. Actually, we can bring up the heat a little bit so that we can bring it up to a simmer. Here's another tip, guys. If it's not Lent time and you want to make it on a regular day, you can fry chicken the same way as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the chicken I would recommend to add some turmeric as well, turmeric powder. So turmeric powder, chili powder, salt, pepper.
Okay.
Yeah, you fry your chicken first. And some people put soy sauce, but I don't because I feel that because you already have this soy sauce that's going into the sauce of the dish, so there's no need to marinate the chicken in soy sauce as well.
Okay.
Okay, the most important part is about to arrive, the tasting of the sauce. This is where you decide whether the flavor is balanced or not. Okay, so let's have a taste. You know what? Needs more sugar.
More sugar?
Yeah. Needs a little bit more sugar.
This one's the sugar, right?
Yeah. So maybe we can put in another, say, maybe a full teaspoon. Yeah.
A teaspoon?
Yeah, a full teaspoon. That's it. There we go. But in terms of the saltiness, the sour flavor, it's perfect. Okay, the Japanese call it umami, sweet, sour, salty.
I was just about to say that, yeah. All the mixed flavors.
Yeah, so we need to have, and also the other dimension of flavor coming from the sweetness of the onions and the spice from the chili, perfect. Okay. And another thing to take note of, after you taste, wash your spoon before you taste again. But I mean, in the home, I don't think anybody cares, but because you know we are feeding people who are outside of the family as well, so we want to make sure
but
that we don't contaminate.
Also, if you want to store the food, it keeps longer as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You got
Okay,
it?
it's good. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we have it coming up to a nice boil. We just need to add one last item which I completely forgot, and that is chicken stock.
The golden cube.
Okay, so all we need to do is put in half a cube. Right, so I'm just going to use this knife over here and cut half the cube. There you go, just half this cube of chicken stock and let it melt. Okay, and it's done. So for the final step, ladies and gentlemen, we just pour everything over. So let's bring this over here. Okay, and we gently pour everything over. You can hear it crackling. Add the sauce first, and then just shake the onions and the chili over. And there's no need for a garnish because the chili and onions garnish itself, and there you go. soy limang stingray.
Looks awesome.
Done. Okay, so now that's done. We are going to do the next dish, which is the stir-fried taugey and tofu, right? So it's actually very simple. The ingredients are as follows. Okay, you want to have a small shallot, just one small shallot. You want to have about 5 cloves of garlic, two tauqua tofu, okay, which is the thick tofu. Okay, 2 of those, and then we cut it into cubes like this. Okay, small cubes. Okay, and also we need the star of the dish, which is the taugey. Okay, so let's begin with frying the tofu. Now, I'm going to use the same oil that I fried the fish in. Okay, it's fine. You know why? Because the salt and the flavor from the oil will go into the tofu.
Keep the flavors there.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is to fry the tofu until it's nice and golden brown and slightly crispy on the edges. Okay, that's the first step. It's actually a really simple dish. 3 steps. Fry the tofu, then we fry the onion and the shallot and the garlic. We put in the taugey, then we put in the tofu. That's it.
That's
you know, the water, there'll be some liquid that comes out. We add the other half of the chicken cube. Done.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we want to fry. We want to cut our tofu into cubes first before frying. That makes all sides of the tofu nice and fried. If you were to fry it as is, then only the outer layer will be fried. The inside will still be tender.
So what kind of tofu are you using for this?
This is tauqua.
Tauqua.
Yeah, tauqua. Tauqua is basically the firm tofu. It's not the soft silken tofu
So
that
it's not the one for
you
soup.
usually get. No, not the one for soup. That's either egg tofu or soft tofu. This one we are using the slightly more firm tofu.
So does this have to be really crispy?
No, it doesn't have to be really crispy. We just want the color on it. Okay, the thing is, it's not like when we have bites. Like, you know, some people when they drink, they like to have like fried tofu and dip it in chili sauce, right? It's not really like that, because in this case, we just want it to have a slightly crunchy layer. That's it. We don't need to be crispy.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just want it to have that that oil coating and you know, that fried texture on the top, so that when we bite into it, right, we can taste that bit of a crunch.
Okay.
That's what we want. Okay, we don't need to cook it that much. As you can see, it's already getting there. The color is already changing.
Yeah.
So maybe just another 2 more minutes and we should be good.
Okay.
Okay, so the tofu looks done. Okay, so we can
Looking good.
transfer it
Finish
over
it
to
on
the
a
plate.
plate. Have a plate.
Sure. Just be careful of the hot oil. Okay, so that's how we want the tofu to look. Just slightly golden brown and well coated around. Okay, so now we fry our vegetables. So very simple, same thing. We get a nice pot.
Use
Okay.
the same oil.
Yeah, we can use the same oil. Okay. Bring the fire down a little bit. Just a little bit of the oil. Okay, that's enough. So what we want to do is we want to fry our aromatics, which are the shallot and the
Garlic.
5 cloves of garlic.
So can they use chopped garlic instead of
Yes, you can.
cloves?
You can if you want. If you can buy those already chopped garlic in
Yeah, because they have it in the
yeah.
containers.
So if you want to use that, maybe you what I would suggest is approximately maybe 2 teaspoons of garlic.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to
This
fry
one
it.
fries really quickly.
Yes, you want to fry it nicely. Okay, once the smell comes up, okay, we don't want to overcook our garlic. Here's the tip: please don't overcook your garlic because it becomes bitter. Okay, so once the color starts to turn a little bit brown, you're good to go.
Taugey.
So we add our taugey. Be sure to pluck the ends of the taugey. Okay, don't be lazy. My poor mother had to pluck the thing. As usual, you know me being the type of cook that I am, my mother helps me in everything.
But the supermarket actually sells taugey like this already clean.
Yes, but unfortunately, when I went to the supermarket earlier, I couldn't get the one that's already been cleaned. Okay, as you can see, the liquid is starting to come out even more. Okay, we want all of the liquid from the taugey to come out. So basically, some people like to have their taugey crunchy, which is half cooked. But for this recipe, right, because I don't want to add water to it, I want the liquid from the taugey to come out, so that you know, it maintains that fresh flavor. Because if we were to add water, then the flavor of the taugey is gone.
Yeah, and it can become a bit soggy.
Yeah. Okay, so there. See the liquid? Can you see? Let's show them the liquid there. See the liquid? Okay. So now that there's liquid, we add our chicken stock. Okay.
But is there enough liquid for the chicken stock to dissolve?
Yes, it will be enough. You just make sure that we have it stirred properly, because it's only half a cube. Okay. And this half a cube goes a long way. Okay, so you just want to smash it a little bit like that, you see?
Yeah.
Right? And then it melts up nicely. There you go, it's gone.
That was quick.
Yep, it's gone. So before I put in the tofu, I want to give it a taste.
Sure.
Yeah. How is it?
Very flavorful.
Yeah, no need to add more salt, right?
No
Because
need.
the chicken cube is already flavorful enough.
Yeah, it's really flavorful.
Okay, so final step, ladies and gentlemen, we add our tofu. Finish up the vegetable, just give it a couple more stirs, toss it a little bit more, and we are good. This is done, so it's time for us to plate. Okay, as you can smell it, it's very nice to smell. Smells wonderful.
I'm sure everybody waiting for lunch. All the
They're all
aroma,
hungry.
all the smells, they must be really hungry right now. Lizzie is waiting.
Okay, the last bit I shall just slowly slide it in. Okay, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fried taugey with fried tofu.
There we go. Looks good. Hey, hi guys. So now we are gonna dig in, and we have our bean sprouts, taugey, and tofu, and we have soy limang stingray. Guys, eat.
Let's eat.
Help yourselves.
Ladies first.
Of course. Lazy first. Lazy first. Yes, lazy waiting. Sauce. Okay, so now the taste test. Is Jason a good cook? Is Jason?
That's true.
It peels off, the stingray just peels off the bone really, really easily. Really, really good. What do you think, Lizzie?
All of it.
Thai?
Powerful.
Now we go to tofu. The two dishes, the flavors, they really blend well together.
Yeah. I love tofu.
To finish up our lunch, stay tuned. We're gonna have a part 2 where we will have dessert, where I'll be making a chocolate ganache cake. Salute!
Cheers.
Hi guys, we're back on episode 5. So now we are going to do dessert and we are going to do a chocolate ganache cake. So Lizzie is going to be joining me.
I'll be eating all the chocolate.
So we're going to start off by making the ganache first because we need to set it for an hour.
What's a ganache?
So ganache basically is the chocolate frosting.
Yeah.
So it's
What's it different?
It's fully chocolate. So we use whipping cream.
Yep.
We use Couverture milk droplets.
Must it be Couverture milk droplets or can you use any kind of chocolate?
We can actually use any kind of chocolate. You can use dark chocolate, you can use milk chocolate. But Couverture actually melts better and it mixes better. But I wouldn't use white chocolate because then it comes out to be more like condensed milk.
Oh, right.
Then it's hard to set.
Oh. So chocolate, Couverture, milk droplet. Where do you buy this from?
Pun Huat?
Pun Huat. Redman?
Redman. Same place.
All the baking stores basically. Okay, so what are we gonna do first?
Now we make the fire a bit low.
Okay, so low fire.
Okay, we pour
The whipping cream, is it?
1 cup of whipping cream.
So this is the whipping cream. Doesn't have to be this brand, right?
No,
it can be any
it can
brand.
be any kind.
So if let's say they are lactose intolerant, what I mean, is there like a soy? Can you use like soy milk?
You can, but it will have a different. It really does change the whole taste.
Oh, right.
Because the whipping cream makes it heavier.
Oh, okay.
So I've used about 1/3.
Okay.
So I want to use another cup. So we get another cup, and we'll make 2 cups so that we can use up the whole packet.
Oh, okay. So how many cups is there now?
So that's 1 cup.
1 cup, and this is another cup.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 cups.
So basically, it is about 1 cup of cream to 125 grams of chocolate.
Alright. So 1 cup to 125. So this is 250.
250.
So 2 cups.
So 2 cups. So I like to use items that require little measurement. So this packet we use all butter. It's in 100 grams.
Tiny butter.
So it's easy to
Slim
calculate.
butter, not low fat. If they can use like non-salted, must it be salted?
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You know those people on diet, they don't want to salt.
Generally, I like to use this French butter because it's very creamy.
Yeah, I can see it's very soft already.
So don't use it straight from the fridge.
Okay, let it melt first.
Let it melt.
Okay. Do we like the chocolate milk as well, or does it doesn't matter?
So this doesn't really matter. Once the whipping cream is actually boiling,
Yeah.
we switch it off and then we put the chocolate in.
Oh, only when it boils?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you can see, this chocolate actually melts really quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can spoon in the chocolate because it's already...
How can you tell that it's heated up?
So once you put your hand, you can feel it's hot.
Yeah.
So this actually melts really quickly, right?
Yeah. So, you don't wait it to like bubble?
We don't need it to bubble.
Okay. Don't need to bubble, guys.
So as long as the basically the cream doesn't need to cook. We basically need it a little warm,
Okay.
so that it melts all the chocolate. But if it's not so
You want
hot,
the...
nah, this is good. If it's not so hot, it cools in the fridge faster.
Oh, right, okay. So it melts fast and it cools fast. So just stir it.
Okay. Balance.
Is that the last bit?
Yep, that's the last of it.
Okay.
Now we just stir it, right?
Slow?
Just stir it. You need to stir it until
Until it becomes brown.
chocolate melts.
And how long does this take? Normally.
Normally about 2-3 minutes.
So just constantly
Yeah.
stir it.
And then it will actually thicken.
Oh, okay. Because of the
So
chocolate.
if you can see, it's quite white now.
It's turning quite brown.
It will turn into a dark brown.
Oh, okay.
So since it's quite hot, we can switch off the fire.
Oh, it's off the fire. Okay. Ooh, it's becoming brown.
It's becoming brown.
Yeah.
But this we can, if we want it to be a bit thicker faster,
Yeah.
we can actually put in more chocolate.
Okay. And then when do we add the butter? Later on or?
So no, we do it straight away.
Okay.
So once all the chocolate is melted,
Yeah. So I shall prepare the butter.
so you can cut a quarter of that.
Okay, let's see whether my fractions have worked since school days. That's half. That's a quarter. Yep. I'm guessing. I hope my maths teacher is watching this. Okay, do I put it in?
So just put it in.
Oh, that was fast. Okay.
So now we just mix it in until the butter melts.
Right.
So the rest of this butter,
Yep.
there's 175 grams left.
Yeah. For the cake.
We'll be using 125 for the cake.
Okay.
There we go. So you can see, it's like a darker Milo color.
Looks like Milo. Looks like warm Milo.
It is. And you can even smell the cream.
Right. Put it in the. Yummy.
Okay.
Okay, do we cover it?
So now we just cover this, and then we put that into the. We put it into the fridge.
Make sure it's on tight. If not, it will spill. Alright,
Yeah.
we're gonna put this in the fridge for how long?
1 hour.
1 hour. Right. Next, what are we making? The cake.
Okay. Next, we're gonna be doing the cake.
So we wash as we go, so we won't have a big pile of dishes afterwards.
And also because the chocolate hardens on the utensil.
Yeah, and it will be very hard.
If you don't wash it straight away,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to soak the pan after that.
Oh, okay. So what can I do while you're washing the dishes?
Okay, we can put the butter into the mixing bowl.
The butter, all of it.
The one that you cut earlier,
Yep.
you minus the 1/4. Not 1/4 of this, 1/4 of what it was.
1/4 of what it was. So what, like that?
So the same amount as just now.
Yep.
So you just cut off that amount,
Yep. And then the rest.
and then you dump everything else inside.
Okay. And why are we doing this and not putting everything in?
Because we only need 125 grams.
Ah, okay. Oh, right, okay. So I just put in what, the 100,
That's right.
the 25,
Yeah.
not the 75.
No.
So I put that.
Right? Another half of this.
Okay.
Okay. And then we need all of this, so we don't need the balance of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So wash. This one throw?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we still need the bowl?
No. Put the bowl here.
Okay.
So now we add the sugar in.
Sugar.
So that is 100 grams of sugar.
All of it, 100 grams of sugar, 125 grams of soft French butter. So I put it in.
So we put it in.
Okay, 100 grams of sugar going in. Wash as we go. Put the bowl here. Alright. Tell me what to do. Tell me what
Okay,
to do.
so now we will actually need to cream the butter and the sugar together.
So how do I do this?
This is to open up this so we don't press
Okay,
it.
don't press that. Oh.
Whoa! So you hold it straight up.
Alright.
Look at that.
And how long do I do this for?
So basically you need the sugar and the butter to just cream together.
And how do I know when it's creaming together?
So you can see because you use melted butter,
Yeah.
so it becomes a bit pale and fluffy.
Right off it?
Yeah.
How many eggs?
2 eggs.
2 eggs with the yolk.
2 medium eggs.
2 medium eggs. And what if they only have tiny eggs?
If there's only tiny eggs, then you use 3.
You know there's a trick, use the shell. There's actually one there.
Yeah.
So when you have egg shells that you drop in an egg, you can actually use the egg shells to take it out.
And it comes out pretty quickly.
Yep. Okay, so do I mix it again?
So now you mix it again so that it all creams together.
Maybe y'all can see this.
We need 2 teaspoons of milk.
What kind of milk?
Any type of milk, but we don't have milk right now, so we're using evaporated milk.
Evaporated milk. So if we don't have milk, evaporated milk. Okay. And mix it in?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Now we
Don't be
add
hasty.
vanilla essence.
Ooh. How many teaspoons?
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. And what if they can't find vanilla, or do you really need to use vanilla essence?
Vanilla essence is actually really easy to find. Actually, what I prefer to use is vanilla bean.
Oh, vanilla. What is that, like a liquid as well?
It's like a paste.
Oh, okay.
Nut butter.
So 2 tablespoons, teaspoons,
2
sorry.
teaspoons.
2 teaspoons. And what does the vanilla essence do?
So this actually makes the vanilla taste stronger,
Okay.
and it also adds a smell to it.
Yes.
The aroma.
Smells so good.
But if you use vanilla bean,
Yeah. So we
if
can.
you use vanilla bean, you actually see black polka dots inside.
Ah, right. Fun. This is my favorite part.
So now lastly, we add, so just now we add 100 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Now we have 125 grams of flour. But we use self-raising flour.
Self-rising.
Because it already has baking soda inside for it to rise.
Oh, okay.
So if you use plain flour, then we have to add baking soda.
Alright. So self-raising flour. The flour is going everywhere.
So now we use this.
Yeah.
Then we just scrape the sides so that it's all mixed in.
Okay.
And then we just scrape it along this. Okay. We're done.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
So this can stand on the side. It's not gonna drip.
Okay. Like that?
Yep.
Okay.
So I like to use 6-inch silicone.
we have one more.
Yep, there's one more there. So silicone baking trays. You can get this from Daiso for $2.
Daiso. Best invention ever. What are you using?
So I'm using a non-stick canola oil cooking spray.
Gold and canola.
So you can get this from Food Mart as well.
Kunhua.
And we actually spray it so that the cake comes out easily later.
Oh. So you don't have to use the, what do you call that? The baking paper.
Yeah. So if you don't have this, you can use baking paper, or you can actually just rub butter in.
Okay. So if you don't have this, butter or baking paper will do. Okay, so what do I do?
Okay, so now we scrape everything so that we don't waste any of the batter. So this is 6 inches.
Okay.
So we put, because we're going to be making it into a double layer.
Ooh.
So we're going to split the batter into these 2 baking tray.
I love it because it's so flimsy.
Yeah, and that's what makes it easier to come out later on after it's finished baking.
Look, you can fiddle with it. It's a bit wrong, but yeah.
So the same with that one, we just flatten it all around.
I feel like a baker. Alright. You need to smoothen it on here.
No, we don't. So when it goes in the oven, the heat actually levels it.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. So are we putting it in the oven now?
Yeah. So you put it in the middle of the oven.
The middle of the oven.
Yeah, you can't see that from here.
So this one, right?
Yeah.
That's alright. Okay.
And
And the material is okay for the oven?
yeah, it's silicone, so it's oven safe.
It's very hot. I almost burned my face off. My eyebrows still there. Alright. Okay. So, they're in the oven for how long?
Are they in the middle?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we put it in for 20 minutes.
20 minutes. It's
Okay.
quite fast. It's not that
So
long.
we put it in for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
but after 15 minutes, we use this to poke to
Yeah.
check if this comes out clean, then it's done.
What is
This is a
this?
cake tester.
The chocho cake. Wait, the cake chocho.
If you don't have that, you can actually just use a toothpick.
You either get the cake chocho or the toothpick.
Okay, so we're back and the cake is out of the oven. Lizzie has actually just used the cake tester to test it. It's come out clean, so we know that the cake is baked already.
Yes.
You can actually see it has separated from the side of the silicone.
Ah.
That's why I like to
Really?
use silicone. Ooh, really hot. Use the buttons.
You must show them.
The buttons very big. Jason's hand very big.
So if you see, it separates it.
Oh,
It's
this one.
here as well. It separates it. Okay.
So
what do we
it's
do now?
okay if the top burns a bit because
Yeah.
it's small, it's 6 inch, the top will definitely crisp.
Yeah.
But later when we actually assemble the cake, we'll cut off the top.
Oh, okay. So what do we do now?
So now we gotta leave it for 10 minutes to cool down. And we'll be back. Okay, so now the ganache is a bit soft. You can set it longer and then it will be a bit thicker, then it's a bit thicker to spread it over like a Nutella. But if we don't set it that long, you just kind of soak it in. So you just wet the sides of it.
Can they like pour the whole thing?
If you can pour it over and then you get a like a glazed kind of cake. Messy. I think it's easier if we just stick the. We can just stick the chocolate over. Hi guys, now we're back here for the tasting of the vanilla chocolate ganache cake. You can see and it's cut. Okay guys, break it. It's very crunchy. It's still warm.
So thank you for watching Eurasian Master-Chef episode 5. Stay tuned for episode 6 next month.
Okay, thanks for joining us guys. I'm Taryn Sweeney.
I'm Taron Jude.
I'm Lizzie.
Bye.
Bye. And Jason's at the back.